Tongue tipping, topsy-turvy, turn it upside down.
So, I would describe myself as being a bystander in my own life. Like I'm sitting back in my chair, taking turns looking at the clocks on my monitor, my phone, and the wall. Hi guys, today I would like to make a video to describe my life since I've last uploaded a commentary video to answer where I've been and what my troubles have been in the meantime. There was a comment on my Pyro Reflections video that called it a therapy session as a Team Fortress 2 video. I enjoyed that comment very much, so thank you. I found not much benefit from traditional therapy, but the exposure therapy of making YouTube content was and will hopefully be more cathartic. Plus there is the potential for an open conversation. And unlike a simple conversation, videos can be revisited far down the line like a time capsule. And so today, I want to try and recapture that vibe without falling into the trap of performing wisdom I haven't earned. On this channel, I've spoken about self-forgiveness and gratitude, but I haven't made monuments from these qualities. My internal monologue is bitter and biting. If I'm struggling with schoolwork, my natural instinct is to incessantly criticize myself. On the many occasions in the last year I've screwed up interviews, driving home I'll tightly grip my steering wheel, unable to let go of what I perceive as shameful defeat. The past 8 months, I've showed up to class, did my schoolwork, and attended my job, but it's felt like I've really been drifting by. I used to be someone who was obsessed with the previous decisions I made. Instead of actively working towards my future, or even having a general concept of what I valued and dreamt of, I've usually been stuck in the past. Historically, whenever I've thought about the future, I always seem to be so bizarrely wrong, it's like there's not even a point. Recently, what I've found is that I've been looking less at my past too. Like I'm not in the past, present, or the future. I'm equal parts everywhere and nowhere. Myself today reminds me of myself back in middle school, where I'd walk from class to class just staring at my feet. Except now, it's a way of life. I mainly just do what I feel is expected of me by the people I love. That is, the standard career path of going to college and getting a steady career. I'm just fulfilling obligations, completing my degree, trying to find an internship, and making a week wage. Just getting to the end of each week and knowing there's countless more of the same is utterly exhausting. To make the time go faster, I've been sleeping 11 to 12 hours a night. I look forward to the night the most. I buy games I never finish and books I never read. My Marcel Proust biography now only exists to serve as a stand for a lamp with a burnt out bulb I'm too lazy to change. I hate forsaking the only life I've been given. I never want to start another sentence for the rest of my life with, I feel. But I know I need to let it all out before I can let it all go. The attempts I've made to feel change last year never came to fruition. For one, the project I wanted to do was to do a consistent series of music reviews on Rate Your Music. I take a whole bunch of pride in my music taste. I like lots of stuff I would consider more niche, not have a lot of listeners on Spotify. Artists I've stumbled into. Digging for music is something of a hobby of mine. Good music, that term obviously being subjective, has carried me through the majority of the most difficult times in my life. So to make it something more productive and to incorporate writing, I began doing music reviews in December of 2024. I hoped for a creative outlet that somehow would end up enlightening me. Even if I have no technical musical knowledge beyond a whole note being 4 counts, I still have lots to say about the albums I like as they intertwine themselves with periods in my life. Talking about music involves the music, but it's just as much talking about myself. My goal was to do 1 review a week throughout 2025. Ultimately, I did 3. An additional motivation was to try to discover new music for my own pleasure, but I didn't even try discovering new music at all beyond February. For another attempt at transformation, I took a different avenue. In the last year, my parents have spent thousands of dollars on ketamine infusions, as prescribed by my psychiatrist. Without getting very technical, the purpose of the ketamine treatments is to treat depression. The point is to take advantage of our brain's neuroplasticity and use the ketamine to form healthier brain connections. Was the money well spent? I'm very uncertain if the treatments have done much. More aptly put, if I've capitalized appropriately. In the blacked out room, the 40-minute trips themselves are this indescribable dissociative blast. All I can remember from them is this ecstasy, this overpowering sense to become a source of good again in the world I'll return to. However, this hasn't been the story. Instead, after the treatments, I hung around in the basement, smoked the evening away, and doom-scrolled. I watched myself in the third person, as if my life were a budget soap opera, falling into the same habits and traps, like skipping brushing my teeth, refusing to make my bed, and failing to fold my clothes. These are the basics. Especially knowing the financial backing I've received, it's a bitter pill to swallow how I've behaved. Some days, it seems all that's changed is the increased investment for my parents. That just means more pressure to make them proud. A third attempt at transformation was travel. In October, I went on a solo trip to North Carolina, short enough that I could leave after school one Thursday and be back for the weekend of work. I thought the fall scenery would change me. In North Carolina, I drove along the Blue Ridge Parkway in its autumn glory, then back home through Virginia and West Virginia. At first, I felt like a conquistador, discovering the new world. Sitting in my leather seat, seldom leaving my Acura, I felt mightily adventurous. Just me, my tunes, and the road. As I got gas in Tennessee, the wind blew through my shaggy hair. I was optimistic. On the horizon, I foresaw a change in myself akin to the orangy tree leaves. I stood in the center of a truck stop in a valley off the interstate, surrounded by great mountains. Later that day, I spent a half hour at Smoky Mountain National Park. By the time I got there, it was already dusk. From the vista, I could only catch the dying embers of the sun. I thought it might be my movie moment, like one in The Sopranos. Tony's in the desert, and he screams to the void. I get it. But by the end of the 2 days, there was nothing that clicked. My playlist had begun replaying tracks, and the familiar chains of life once again set in. As I made my way home, I knew the transformation I yearned for wasn't arriving. The moment for me was at a gas station in the early dawn of Asheville. As I stopped to prepay for my tank, I recognized how far I was alone from the world that I had grown up in. I felt I should be liberated, no contest from the hometown demons, but instead, I felt the fumbling of the words on my mouth, plucking at my small talk, just like always. I don't know what resulted in this outcome. I guess I just got caught up in a rut that so many of us find ourselves in. It frustrates me. The journeys I've gone on, the experiences I've been through. I still feel I possess the same self-destructive tendencies. The music reviews, the ketamine treatments, and the trip to North Carolina were all meant to change me. And so I posed the question to myself, why not? It's a tricky one, but I've often wondered at this point, will I ever change? I clearly have gone from point A to point B. In my own life, after months of hounding, punching in application after application, and staggering through interviews, I found my internship. And that long-distance relationship I mentioned on this channel before, I've carried into 2026. Me and her, we visited 4 times so far. Those visits are some of the rare moments I do feel present in my life. When I look back at previous pictures of the two of us, the scenes instantly spring to life. I'm at home in her smile. Every plane ride or drive back feels like a sentence to mundanity. It's not easy to put into words what feels different with her, why I consider myself present. It's not the new experiences themselves that matter. As much as any date we've meticulously planned, I missed the silent train rides in Waterloo, and I missed the subway stops in Toronto. I miss driving her around, trusting only my dear navigator's directions. It's the human connection. It's not the stories, it's that I get to share them with her. I wonder if the difference is my expectations. I wanted the music reviews, needed the treatments, and hoped the road trip would give me the fresh air I desired. I desperately wanted it all, too. Whereas on the subway, I expected nothing but a destination. I'm not a teenager anymore, but I feel just like I did then. Time keeps passing, and the same ailments plague me, seemingly only rearranging themselves. Life is less like a mental roller coaster like it used to be, but now it's a menial roller coaster. The days, weeks, and months blending together, as might be the human experience. I'm at another crossroads, where we think we had it all figured out, just to realize life is so much larger than we could have believed. This time around, I have no plea to the viewer. I just wanted to share my thoughts and hope someone else feels seen. Uploading this video is one small step for me. Sincerely, thank you guys for listening to my stories, and I think I'm going to try the music reviews again. I don't expect to do 50 or 25, or even 10 this year. I'm not going to set any expectations this time, but one sincere review of an album, in my mind, is 1 inch of my dreams are claimed. There's no way to know for sure this time if things will be different, except to do them. Thank you.